Hi, hello. Welcome to the episode of Isaiah's Newsstand. It's your host, Isaiah Edwards. The date is January the 24th, 2025. Hopefully, this episode finds you well, in good spirits, and high hopes. As for me, I'm doing pretty good. Happy Friday to ya. Hopefully this energy finds you, this good energy. Hopefully you're in a good state of mind and being, whether you're listening to this on a Friday or not. As for me, I started off good. We got to sleep in since I requested off for the day. Had to run some errands. I went to the BMV or the DMV, if you're not from Ohio, to get either new license plate or just get it replaced with the one, like the old one I had. Turned out I didn't have all the information I needed. I needed to bring a temporary title with me. And I thought that was all included into this little piece of paper that I had because I'm used to buying from like buy here, pay here's. That's just like my default. And when I buy from there, you get it all done in the same spot. So at least, that's my history of it. So it's like you get this, and you're good to go. And I was just like, yeah, here's my temporary, registration or whatever. Let's do it. Essentially, that's what I thought. At least that's what it was. And she's like, no, you got to have that. And I was like, oh. And luckily, she was like aware of what was kind of happening. She's like, yeah, most likely it's just going to come in the mail. And, it's like 4 to 6 weeks. And you'll be getting it probably soon. And I was like, oh, okay, all right. And sure enough, I was able to confirm that with Toyota and everything, and I felt like a dummy. But I was like, okay, after that, well, it's just back to chilling, back to having a day off. So I went to the gym. Gym went well. I realized why I'm like why the time's kind of going. I mentioned that in a previous episode, and I think it's just because I'm doing like more sets on my weight training and weightlifting, whatever. And so because I'm doing more sets, like it's not that crazy. It's just like one extra one. I usually just do one, around a handful of machines and call it a day. So now like I'm doing two, and I think that's just adding on to the time. So I was like, oh, okay, all right, that's the reason. But hopefully I think I can stick to that. I don't think it's really that big of a deal. Like at this point, I'm really no lifing it anyway. So like, time's really relative. But yeah, let's see. Food corner. What did I eat last night? I made burger, hot dogs, fries featuring onion rings. It was all very good. It was all very yummy. Let's see. That's pretty much it for me in the me corner. Let me go ahead and do the startup, and we'll get into some news. First story comes from ABC News. Purdue Pharma Sackler families boost contribution in opioid settlement to $7.4 billion. So this is an update on a story we've covered, throughout with the Sacklers, with Purdue Pharma. The company and the once prominent family behind the drug Oxycontin agreed Thursday to increase their financial contribution to resolve mass opioid litigation. The Sacklers and Purdue Pharma boosted their settlement contribution to $7.4 billion after the U.S. Supreme Court overturned a prior settlement in June 2024. If approved, the new plan would end the costliest corporate bankruptcy resulting from the U.S. opioid crisis. Purdue, under the leadership of the Sackler families, invented, manufactured, and aggressively marketed opioid products for decades, according to the lawsuits. States and cities across the country said it fueled waves of addiction and overdose deaths. Let's see here. I know that the 7.4 is literally or I don't know why I said literally there, is a boost from the $6 billion that was initially agreed. And another big thing is that the Sacklers will still be able to get sued again outside of this litigation. So I think that that's good, good notes, but we'll see how that goes in terms of if it's going to be okayed, greenlit. But yeah, there's an update there. Let's go ahead and hit the next story from Axios. Trump strips security from Fauci, Bolton, Pompeo. Tracker. President Trump confirmed Friday he stripped security protections from former National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Diseases Director Anthony Fauci, the latest in a pattern of retaliation against political adversaries. All of Trump's targets have received death threats during a time of heightened political violence. We've talked about Fauci before. Pompeo is like, I'm not entirely sure why. I don't know if it's just because he failed to meet expectations for Trump along the way, or he didn't say yes enough. Like I don't know. Like maybe he failed the loyalty check, and now like he's anti, and it's like he doesn't deserve protection. Now Bolton was someone who was a Trump pick, but became adversarial to Trump, and then when he was fired, let go, he, becomes kind of a firebrand against Trump and even writes this big tell-all against Trump. And they become pretty much enemies or whatever. So he's on his shit list and he's like, yeah, these guys like shouldn't get protection for forever, which I was like, that's kind of crazy to say just because it's like you're a government person who gets protection for forever, and not to mention you're a person who's had an assassination attempt, technically multiple assassination attempts on your life. Bolton has literal this is wrong. I don't know why I want to keep saying literally. He has also, faced attempts on his life. Granted they were apprehended before, any shot was fired, but I believe it was in 2022. Yes, yeah, in 2022, an Iranian national was charged in connection with the plot to assassinate Bolton. So I mean, really, in a lot of these situations, and you can even take it to Fauci too. You cut all this fucking protection, and I'm sure it's not even like a ton of protection anyway, but at least it's something, right? Maybe better than nothing. You're cutting this protection and at the same time saying, hey, all those January 6 people who were like mad about COVID, mad about all these fucking things and want to direct their angry ass energy. Hey man, I mean, you can just do whatever. He's available potentially. These are just soft little like signaling. I don't know. It's crazy to do. You didn't have to do this. Like it is surely and I'm sure at its core that's what it is. It's just being fucking petty. It's like, yeah, you don't deserve for the protection, and it's like, damn, like what a message to send, man. It is what it is. This is honestly maybe one of the more minor things to cover out of Trump this week, but there's just so much. I mean, you could literally, you could spend all week talking about him. I feel like I have already, but and still there would be more. Anyway, let's move on to our last story. I really didn't want to make it a long episode. I really didn't feel like there was too much to that I like wanted to talk about that I saw, on the ticker. But yeah, just another update here. But we gotta talk about CEOs. Gotta talk about healthcare. Let's see here. Let me take my last break though. All right. From NPR. United Healthcare names new CEO after Brian Thompson's killing. United Healthcare has a new CEO weeks after its former chief executive was killed. The largest U.S. health insurer on Thursday said Tim Noel, a company executive, will be its next CEO. Noel will fill the role most recently held by Brian Thompson, who was shot on a New York City street in early December. I don't know why that already feels like just further away. I don't know. I guess it's because it was last year, but yeah, like it's weird that it's weeks, and like in my head I'm like, weeks? Like yeah, not months. Excuse me. So yeah, I mean that this is a new replacement. I don't have his exact salary, but I know Thompson received a total compensation package last year of $10.2 million. So that is the money you make to make a streamlined tip top healthcare thing go, and they replaced him pretty fucking quick. That was boom boom. So I don't know. I really don't want to expound or extrapolate or whatever the fuck. I don't, it is what it is. Just wanted to update that part from there. And I don't have anything to really say on the Mangione thing in terms of any like updates. I haven't heard anything. So there we are. That's the episode. This was quick. This is nice and short. Like I said, there really wasn't much to talk about, I felt. So, and really for me, the highlight of my day was taking a fat nap. But I will say that is a nice highlight. We'll take it. That's nap of the year right now. So clap it up for that. Yay, yay. But yeah, that's the episode. If you'd like to help out, support the effort, I do have a Patreon. Patreon.com/Isaiah News. Become a newsie today. Free ways to hit me up, IsaiahNews1@gmail.com. Feel free to follow me or the podcast on any of the socials. Subscribe to the YouTube. Hit that like button. Leave a cool comment. And sharing is caring. Hopefully I see you soon for some more good news. I love ya. Bye-bye. Mwah.